Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for giving me a voice. I am from Bingo-Yogas University, and I will talk today about algas and their bioabsorption of heavy metals possible potential. The work that I will describe is bioabsorption of heavy metals with algas, critical review of its application in real effluents. Written by Professor Ignacio Soto from Chile, from Universidad Antofagasta. As I've taught, algas are important idea that can be used as lipids, as perfect source of dark fermentation, diesel oil, and by photolysis hydrogen production. Another feature of algas presented by Professor Soto is bioabsorption. As I thought, especially in sewage sludge in some Slovakia is common. The idea of bioabsorption is to absorb from waste, sewage waste, and landfills metals, and therefore heavy metals are removed. This idea that we can use and clean our polluted area. According to this research, the bad case of bioabsorption investigation is that research shows only results on synthetic pollution. So the trouble is of cleaning that tests are many tests using synthetic pollutions, but very few successful application of algas for bioabsorption on real pollution. So the scientists say that it corrects, but only in case of copper, only 2% were successful on real effluents. This is the shows how the low repairability is still, and we know some in case of heavy metal removal. The heavy metals are pollution from mining and causing this oversalting. This oversalting is dangerous to freshwater because if to the freshwater of river comes, there can be algas also, but unwanted and destroying the living in this river, as in the other river last August in Poland. The difficulties is that heavy metals are big trouble and need to be filtered by osmosis or and soap and recycled. But all this has of selectivity, high cost, and generation of waste. Adsorption is sometimes one of the cheapest because it's only needed to be cultivated, and then this algas or bacteria can be source of another field and used as for pharmacy and for lipids or for biodiesel, because if cannot be these metals be dissolved, it shouldn't be in pharmacy, but on energy levels. The most difficulties of metal pollution are in Morocco, mining regions, Morocco, Iran, and Australia. Australia have big because of course mining sometimes, especially precious like gold and and is containing unwanted or platinum contain and use illegal, which make cheaper, but since illegal doesn't catch the safety rules, therefore pollution of river is bigger. And this is the trouble of both Australia, but also in big trouble of Chile and in some Brazilian levels. Therefore, Professor Antagrasta was searching, Professor Soto, cadmium and copper, zinc, and chromium and lead was taken as the biggest trouble and biggest issue of this research. The bioabsorption is from middle of the 20th century. It's quite rapid and reversible and can be used highly in diluted solution. It's quite inexpensive and can be used in funds in both agriculture and digestion to make some biofuels, methane, hydrogen. As this contains some metals, especially iron, would be helpful for hydrogen production. The biosolvents are not only microalgae, but also some bacteria and fungi. Fungi use fungi with bioabsorption possibilities is called heating. Heating takes this metal. In case of bacteria, especially gram-positive or gram-negative, the role of absorbing catch peptidoglycan. In case of algae, has two catching constituent, alginate and fucoid. Therefore, algae are more efficient because they are bigger and contain two structure components that catch metals. In this process, we get how is interest per year. In 2022 was 160 only articles, which shows decrease in case of years 2020. By 2020 to 2000, there was increase. Then now is after the 2020 is big decrease, and most from 2009 and 2020 the biggest interest was on bacteria, but bacteria has only one, and however they applied in Slovakia, they not found in the mining. Therefore, now the more interest coming back to algae. The fungi is the lowest interest because we don't know how to use fungi waste. They're not publication because both bacteria are simple. In case of algae, we know how to remove waste, and algae capture also carbon dioxide, which is a big advantage. While fungi, we don't know how to raise besides pharmacy, and know many articles about using the oil. There are few because marine algae are more successful because they lack salts, so they can higher concentration on salts and pollutant take to grow. In case of advantages is that microalgae has renewable and low cost, biomass can be used that selective for many heavy metals and can captate diversity in compared to bacteria or fungi and few chemicals needed to supplement it. Is disadvantage is that if they needed to dry and need to be immobilized, because if not immobilized, this bacteria-based alga will escape and flow to the other reservoir of water, making disaster. This absorption, complex polysaccharides, high affinity to trivalent coefficients. Therefore, three groups of algae are catch: red, green, and brown. The most bigger trouble are brown, which are called also gold, because brown is almost as a gold. And the algae uptake including zinc, copper, and nickel. The follows usually the absorption of heavy metals in case of brown alga is from 0.39 to 166 millimole of heavy metals per gram of algae. The highest absorption is for lead, then copper. The lowest absorbing metal is zinc, from less than cadmium or nickel, but which is much less than lithium. So the algae is very good source to clean lithium pollution. And this causing also some reports what to make this toxicated algae, how to use, if this biodegradation is useful or not, if we can use on biodiesel or not. This is the lack of information, especially which is so few algae publication, and also on our research of real pollution. The trouble is that we have many articles, many research, but very few and no grant efforts to change it, which is the biggest trouble of developing algae in conservation case. Therefore, we need to change grant and scholarship manner to force and to encourage the scientists to check the algae on real pollution. This is very good chain which was on tour in China, caused by sort of shoes vulgaris, and this vulgaris, which was rare vulgaris spirulina, which was very good for biodiesel production and from that fermentation feed, was also achieving high copper removals of 82%. So this shows that these two bacteria of microalgae are excellent for many purposes. They catch carbon dioxide, they can be biodiesel, they can be used in pharmacy, and they can catch some metals. So this is all I wanted. How universal can be these algae, and we see that there's still much gaps. The gaps in case of bioabsorption is that they don't try to solve real problem, real pollution. We need to check algae or other bioabsorption methods on real troubles. Thank you very much for listening to me.